Here with Mookie Wilson, Dan Tortora on Wake Up Call. And Mookie, you not only have a connection to the Mets, but a connection to faith. And I just got to hear your story and just what you can say about how that's guided you and maybe where that started for you.
As I said, I was brought up in the church. But being brought up in the church just validates you as being a Christian. All right, so let me make that perfectly clear. You know, Christianity, it taught me that Christianity is something that you learn. None of us were born to be saved, okay? But none of us were born saved. We were born to be saved, but none of us were born saved. And Christianity is something that we learn. And it takes time, some others longer than others. But it all has to begin with just believing that God is real and what he says is possible. And it goes from there. So it's something that I think you have to start early with children, is instilling it in their minds. And it may take years before it takes root, but that's where it starts.
For you to have the history that you've had and the success that you had, like you said, you pray for a hit, you pray for certain things, but you know, when you look back to 1986, a prayer answered, I would say, back then. So.
Well, it took me a while to understand that, but if I pray to win a ball game and to get a hit, that means I'm praying for the other person to lose. I mean, God don't work that way. You know, I mean, I love for people to acknowledge God and that He's in control of everything, but I don't think that God is a Met fan or a Red Sox fan or St. Cardinal fan or anything. You know, God is a people person, and I think if winning is what He has in store for you to help you grow, then you will win. You know, but then again, I think that there are certain things that God leave up to human element, and I think that's when you come to sports, that's what it is.
When you look back on those days, you look back on Game 6 in 1986 and the wild pitch, and then that hit that you had at first base, you know, that brought Ray Knight home and all that, Bill Buckner's mistake. Just bring me back into that, because I'm sure that people still stop you today, especially Met fans, to remember that.
Well, no, the Met fans, Boston fans. I mean, they keep telling me I ruined their life. I mean, come on, you know. But but it was a situation where I do thank God for giving me the stability mentally to be able to go up there and not panic, play my game, and be willing to accept whatever the results are. Once you give your best, that's all you can ever do. You know, you can't dictate the future, you can't dictate the results. You know, you just have to do your best, and then you go from there. And I was fortunate that the other team didn't do their best. You know, the wild pitch, I mean, you know, come on. You know, you have 2 strikes on 4 different hitters, and you can't get the guy out. Come on. So it's not so much as what I did, it's what the other team wasn't able to do, and that was to close it out. Yes, I'll take credit for it, but I was just being me. You know, that is, just give the best you can, and whatever happens, happens.
The call was by Vince Scully, and he just passed recently, so you can say about Vince.
Now, well, you know, playing against the Dodgers for so many years, going into Dodger Stadium and listening to Vince Scully, he was one of the greatest. I think I knew Vince Scully before I knew anything about the Mets, because I used to listen to baseball on Saturdays afternoon when Vince Scully was, you know, one of the announcers and stuff. And yeah, I knew him before I knew anything about the Mets. So he's a part of everybody's baseball history. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. You know, I didn't know him as personal as probably I would have liked to, but from what I do know from a professional standpoint, he was great, and baseball world's going to miss him.
How much of a fan do you stay today of the Mets? Do you pay attention to everything that they're doing right now? Because obviously the world's getting a little bit brighter for the Mets right now.
And to be honest with you, I was never a baseball fan until now, until I retired. When you retire from playing, you become a fan. That's when you become a fan. When you're playing, you're so wrapped up in your own world that you don't always understand everything, because it's all about me. You know, when I retired, I began to appreciate fans. I began to appreciate how fans react and what baseball means to those people. You know, I mean, here it is, some 30-something years later, you're still talking about a ground ball that I hit down first base line. Granted, it was one of the big moments in all of baseball, But to me, it was a ground ball. It wasn't a home run. It was a ground ball, and one of my better ground balls either. But you know, but that just goes to show you the passion that people have for the game. Not just Met fans. I'm talking baseball fans in general.
And Mookie, to bring it all back together, this faith that you have, the world today, and on Wake Up Call, I mean, everybody knows everything that I touch, I don't hide my faith in it.
Yeah.
I feel like, and maybe everyone felt like this at a certain point in different decades and centuries and whatnot, but it feels like the world needs God now more than ever.
Yeah.
Do you feel that? Do you feel the weight of that?
Yeah, I've always felt that. I've always felt that way, and that's because we have a lot of believers in this world, but we don't have a lot of faith believers. Big difference, you know. People, when you believe something, as I said, people, when you believe something, you acknowledge that something is possible, but you don't have any faith that it's going to happen. You know, if you have faith that it's going to happen, then you wouldn't see as much misery that we experience in this world today, because they know that God will keep His promise. And right now, I don't think people will even acknowledge that God even made them a promise that He will always take care of them. I don't think people actually believe that now. They believe that I got to go out and do it myself. That's what it is right now. And they go out and they try to take control, and you see what happens. We will mess up everything. Man will mess up everything if you give him half the chance. And right now we have a chance what we're doing.
Hey, coming here from Mookie Wilson here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, a faithful person and 1986 World Series champion. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you.
All right.